You good, okay, cool. All right. So we shall start. Everyone,
Okay.
hello. Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to the May 8th Cannabis and Poetry event. To support Ed Gainey. For those who tuned in last time to the more chill episode, and it was like last minute. Ed Gainey was not able to make it because he had to go to the rally for the George Floyd trial. And then but he should be tuning in somewhere between 7:30 and 8 o'clock today. And as you may know, he's a advocate for minorities as well as the decriminalization of medical cannabis. And as us being a cannabis education company, um, we are a big sponsor and advocate and platform for supporting the arts and stuff. And we have partnered with Poetry and Me, which is our co-host, as you see the lovely Blossom Nicole here. She's the founder of Poetry and Me. And as everyone knows, with arts and cannabis, or everyone knows that cannabis is often a media.
Staple.
Yes,
It's
it's a
often
staple.
a
Exactly,
staple.
it is a token staple for to help artists achieve some kind of creative space and get some creative inspiration. And yeah, so Blossom, you have the stage. You could tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Oh, okay. So I really don't like talking about myself, but I remember a good friend told me, he said, anytime there's a platform, blow yourself up. Why
Hundred
not?
percent.
Everyone else does it. Do you remember who told me that?
No, I don't.
It was you, Steve. It was you.
I did? Was it? Oh, my bad. I'm complete amnesia on that stuff. My bad.
Yeah, it was you. I mean, I didn't go verbatim, but that was basically what you said. So, talking about me, so I am an author. I wrote a book back in 2013, and it's called Roses from Stones. Now, within that published book, I talked a lot about growth, and I talked a lot about being able to push through obstacles and things that may hold you back as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked a lot about family because, let's face it, family is sometimes the biggest either setback or the biggest foundation that we have in our lifetime. So
Yes.
in the book, it talks a lot about family, it talks a lot about being angry. I think during that time, I was very angry with racism.
Oh yeah.
I didn't like, because back then I was newer in the Pittsburgh area, and
Mm-hmm.
within the Pittsburgh area, you have different groups. You have people that sort of stay within their groups. There's no intermingling. There's not that much intermingling, and I wasn't used to that. I come from San Diego, where it's just like a huge melting pot of all different
100%.
cultures,
Yeah.
colors, races. It's just, that's what I'm used to. So I think when I wrote the book, I was very upset about racism. But what came of that is that I actually had a high school student write a report on me as an author not too long ago, and it was absolutely beautiful. She
Oh,
came
that's
by my
cool.
house and she made a plaque for me. She brought it and posted it on Facebook. It was a proud moment because me, really, you want to do a report on me and you have all these authors in the world, and you chose me. I thought it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But outside of writing, I'm also an event planner. Most of my events revolve around poetry, as you probably already know. Anytime I do an
Yes.
event, I like to incorporate poetry because let's face it, that's my passion. But I also, I have a lot of people that, ask me to help them coordinate events or plan for events. They ask me for, developmental things for their events. So there's a lot going on right there. And quite frankly, I'm busy right now. Like I'm really, really busy. And I love it. I absolutely love this type of busyness because it keeps my mind occupied. And it's something that I love doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then outside of that, I have a group called Poets of Steel, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
and Poets of Steel is it's a group made up of singers, writers, closet poets that write all the time but never share. It's made up of dancers, business owners. So it's just a wide scale of different types of people that have a passion for something, whether it be for helping people or just artistically. It's an amazing group. They've actually become my family. I told them that this morning
Mm.
because I don't have family in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Even you've become my family.
No, thank
So
you. Likewise.
I've developed family within that group. So yeah, I pretty much, that's a nutshell. It's everything in a nutshell when it comes to me. I absolutely love working with artists because the things that they do, it's just not what normal people do. And I sort of I get inspired by that because I don't like normal. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like normal. I like for people to go outside of what they're expected to do. And I think a lot of artists do that. And it's amazing. It's almost like genius. So anything that I can do to help support them, whether it be, sometimes all an artist wants is for you to share their work or share their page or ask them to feature in an event. There's always something that you could do to support an artist. And I think I mentioned this before. People don't realize how important the creative community is.
Yes.
Lately, I support my friends and their musical plights and all of that more than I do the artists that are already rich.
Yeah.
So, I support those that are noticed, but not on a grandiose scale. And I
Yeah.
think it makes more sense because we want them to get there. We want to see them make it to the point where they're like J. Cole or Nas or
Yeah, of
what I
course.
mean?
Everybody's got to have a dream. So,
Yes.
yes.
And I think the proper support can get them there. And if
100%.
I
100%.
can if I can help in any way, that's what I do. So that's me.
Yeah. So, again, Blossom still needs to learn to blow herself up some more. She's like a powerhouse of a woman. She's really like hard, doing a lot, setting up a lot of these events. And so the context by which we got introduced to her, I got introduced through a rapper friend, Noni. Shout out Noni. She invited me to this, acapella spoken word. It was a battle of poets. And I was like, it was my first poetry slam I ever went to. And it was just a cool vibe. And I'm like, man, I've never been to one of these things. I've really usually been to like music events. And then, then we talked, and then we interviewed Blossom. She talked about her backstory. She brought on Kino, who one poem that we're going to feature today. And then, we just, we've been like sharing the limelight with each other. She was featured on the Blossom was featured on the Killer Priest live show.
Yes, that was amazing.
And then she shared a couple poems, and then so like Blossom is really about collaboration and building up other artists, as well as creating ecosystems and like structures through her events for artists to build their talents.
Yes.
And if you guys look on our YouTube or Facebook with the page of our original interview, when Kino talks about it, it's really powerful. Once we feature, we'll talk about it again. But then she was saying how just those couple events of once she actually performed live, then it just sparked this fire in her to become more entrepreneurial. She like pursued other avenues of art, and it was just really cool to see how how it just takes one event for that to for you to like to just ignite a fire. Like it was a burning fire of a flame and confidence for her to pursue her passions, and like not just that, but then start her own journey of artistic exploration. And she's like trying, like, you know, she's doing a lot of woodwork and she's doing painting and something. I was like, man, that's so. And then like, and then we got emotional with it. Like I also wanted to cry. And I was like, but like talking about like building up, you know, people, because it's like it's very moving, and that's the importance of and responsibility, the importance of leadership and mentorship, which Blossom is doing, and which is why we're like, oh, you know, someone as passionate as you, and we need like a billion more people like you in the world, and the world would be a better place. And then that's why we just got to collaborate and stuff. So it's really good synergy, really good energy, and now we're here. So
we're taking off, right?
Yeah, we're taking off. We're taking off, and we're doing all this stuff via Zoom, remotely in our living rooms. So what do you drink? Is that wine?
A little wine.
A little wine. Very nice.
Yeah.
Well,
this was actually made by a friend of mine. He's a winemaker here in Pittsburgh.
Okay. Very nice.
Unico Vino.
Oh, yeah. I know who that is. Yeah, I have his card too. That's cool. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I gotta definitely interview him. But yeah. So yeah, Blossom, this is you know, take the stage, and this is a little, you know, hope everyone, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully hopefully we can feature some of your work, submit your work to us, in submissions at kindheartsmedia.com. And then if you're in the Pittsburgh area, you know, come to one of the events, and we're gonna show you the events that are coming up. But yeah, so Blossom, you feel free to take the stage.
Yeah. So I think that what we should do, if you're ready, should we have one of the poets come on?
Yeah. Which one do you want to introduce?
Okay. So how about we introduce? Give me one moment here.
The first one is Sweater Bob.
Yes. So Sweater Bob is actually a really good friend of mine. Sweater Bob has talents galore. So he's a rapper. He is a poet. He's also a painter. So he's been painting for quite some time, but it wasn't until recently that I started to see how amazing his skill is.
Oh yeah, he does.
So he just started his business, and I can give that information to you later on. I can't remember the business name. Sweater Bob, don't kill me. But he is just absolutely amazing. He's a total visionary, and I'm just so proud of where he's come, and what he's been through to get to where he is as an artist. So yeah, Sweater Bob.
Everyone, Sweater Bob.
He's the owner of Bobby's Artistic Expressions LLC.
So if you guys look on my share screen, you guys should see his Instagram page, and it says follow my, there you go, here it is. And here is our first one that we shall feature with his poem.
Yay.
All right, everyone, give it up for Sweater Bob.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your favorite Sweater Bob. When I'm not painting, I'm doing poetry, and before I start painting, I'm gonna do some poetry. And I get to be virtual because I won't be there in person, so it's like I'm here in spirit and all that fun stuff. But quick little poem. I'll drag it out for you guys. Make sure you listen. It's about the Queens. It's called Queens Flick. Not too many people have heard it, so hopefully you guys see this and be like, "Oh no, hey Bob." But I'm gonna take my sip. I'm gonna get into it. All right, check this out. There's just something about a queen, like something real majestic when you put your eyes on it. From the ones that apply pressure, or even the ones that go unseen, but especially to the ones that give you butterflies in your stomach. They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so I guess I'll either be holding you down or holding you accountable. So if you're my wife, girl, or best friend, each time your crown remotely tilts or falls, I'll be there to help you pick it up or fix it again. Why? Because my love for y'all is insurmountable with a little bit of indecent exposure. Right. But I'm not going to get in the way. Get y'all queen thing on. But just know everybody needs a shoulder, but preferably, I say everybody could use a Bob to lean on. But wait, I'd rather sit back and capture all your portraits and landscape. Because to me, my shutter speed will see these real images in sync every time that I blink. So you can use me to stand on, or our differences can cause a standoff. So when you want to pull out and draw instantly, just know I authorize your essence with calligraphy. So keep your head up. But even with something negative, the best of you can still develop. But in this natural light, I want to see the acne, the freckles, the scars, the fight. I'll zoom in to see every little blemish. And the best part about a queen's flick is when she knows that a woman's worth comes from her self-image. So picture that. That's it. I hope y'all like it. Shout out to the queens and the flicks. Get it. But that's about it. I ain't got shit else to say. I love you guys. I'll catch you at the next event.
All right. Dope. Very dope. Very dope. Everyone, yeah, give it up for Sweater Ball, ladies and gentlemen. That was pretty dope. That was dope, man. That was really cool. But yeah, man, that was very, very. He
has appreciation for the queens, which is awesome, and he realizes that not every woman can be a queen. You have to. There's qualifications with that.
You really think not every woman can be a queen? Like if they have the will to do so?
If they have the will, absolutely.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what. Okay, that's what. Okay, gotcha.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But let's face it. Some. They have to learn how to be a queen. I don't.
No, 100%, 100%. Yeah.
I feel like we come into the world and we have everything we need, but we just have to make the conscious decision to take those things and channel them into queenhood. I think that it takes time and effort. It's not something that you can develop overnight.
100%. Well, this goes both ways. Same thing for kings. Like, there's a bunch of guys like, you want to be treated like a king, but then there's this hypocrisy and stuff. So which is why there's a bunch of misunderstanding between the sexes. Yeah. So, but yeah, the big thing about one of my best friends. He's always like, we were talking about. I really like that poem. That was dope. It just actually got me thinking about one of my best friends. He's actually a business partner, and he was saying he's just like, he goes, I want to date a girl who impresses me. And he's like, she like continues to inspire me to be better. And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, find you. He's like, and he's always telling me like, find you your queen. I'm always telling him that too. But yeah, it's like, the thing about relationships, I always find that people kind of they put on this facade, and then once they're like, we hooked you in, then they go back to their like bad habits or whatever. Yeah. And that's like I think 85-90% of people. but I think to try to consistently live up to that standard and then habituate that person that you actually you project yourself out to become, you can actually end up becoming that person, right? Ooh. Instead of like the whole pickup artist, you create this illusion and then you're like, once you get what you want, then you can like a lot of them just like dip out, whatever. But and that's why that's why I think about the thing about habits. Like if you consistently do the habits to create that character and become that character, then you'll eventually become that character. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know. That's
what is that saying? It's sort of cliche, but there's a saying about that where it's so you think, so you are. So the more we think about who we want to become, that is the person that we will become. So yes. You're absolutely correct about that. Because, if you think very little of yourself, that's how you're going to feel. That's how people are going to treat you. But if you think highly of yourself, that's why, self-esteem is extremely important, because that's how you esteem yourself. So if you esteem yourself a certain way, that's how you're going to carry yourself. And if you carry yourself that way, that's how other people are going to see you. So absolutely, that's 100% correct. And I agree with it all the way. It's
Man, we could.
just,
Yeah, no, keep going.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying we could get super deep with this. I'm thinking about like
I
social
know
media. So we're thinking about social media, people projecting like their best self, but then they have like this big disparity of who they actually are, and they feel like they have this
Yeah.
imposter, and then that's what causes all this depression and stuff. And then they're like, see the other friends, they're like, I have nothing to post. And it's like a competition of status and stuff, whatever.
Oh yeah.
But then like it's just social media is retarded, dumb. Anyways, sorry, I just saying anything. But yeah, yeah, it's just interesting about all that stuff. But yeah, no, that got me thinking about a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's why art and poetry is awesome. Everyone, it makes you think. So you were saying how like artists are really essential to society, and it's just like I was saying how. I read this thing about like how artists have a role because art is just a reflection of our own humanity, right?
Oh yeah.
So a lot of
absolutely.
it reflects like the times that the political landscape of what's going on, or like how people feel about them, so like the collective human consciousness, and then it's like gives a different perspective, like an outward looking in.
Absolutely.
And so then like it sparks discussions like these like
Yes.
we saw Sweater Bob's thing, very eloquent, very nice, thought-provoking poem about queens, and then we have like the profound conversation like these that hopefully enrich your life and make you want to become a better person.
Right. And then too, the nice thing about it is, sorry, let me turn the volume down on this. The nice thing about, because so for me, when I first started poetry, when I first started sharing, I was 12 years old, and my family laughed at me. So I sort of put it on hold. I didn't do poetry that much anymore. And then I started up again. And then some of my workmates and some of my friends sort of didn't like it. They thought it was weird. But here's the thing. When we think about the average person fell in love with poetry as a child. Mm-hmm. Poetry is not anything new to anyone. If you've ever gone through kindergarten through, say, like third grade, because the way the child learns is through repetition, and they learn through rhyming words. So a lot of those books and even like what's that book, like The Grinch, or Green Eggs and Ham, kids fall in love with those stories. Yes. And there's a lot of rhyming, there's poetry in there. So I feel like every single person has poetry within them, and it's not funny. It's something that they could use to develop into who they really are. I'm a strong and firm believer in that. I feel like poetry in itself is therapy. I'm done. Sorry.
Oh, artist therapy. Exactly. No, exactly. No, you're good. You're good. Exactly. Well, everyone, if you, at best, what we want to do is with these events is inspire your own inner creative artist that might have been like repressed because people said no, or you felt like you lacked confidence. But everyone's an artist. Just maybe it takes something. Who knows what it is to unlock it. So. Yep. Yeah. So who's next on the?
So we have. Give me a second.
Dapper Cool.
Yes. Yep.
Malik Long, aka Dapper Cool, his artist name.
Yes.
Hold on 1 second.
Now Dapper Cool is he's a singer. He also writes songs, and he's actually been very, very supportive of my mission as well. He also has a podcast, and the podcast is named, I believe it's Cool Brother. So yeah, you guys have to check him out. He interviews, there it is right there.
There you go.
It's the cool podcast with the Cool Brother.
There you go.
I'll tell you, he has interviewed some amazing people. I love these interviews because they actually they open your eyes to a lot of things that's going on within the artists' lives, but also the outside world and how it affects them. So I absolutely love his podcast. It's amazing.
All right, so let's see how he has got it going on.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Malik, and the title of this poem is My Love. She's my peace when I'm at war with myself. She's the calm when I'm about to storm. She's my light when I'm about to dim. She's the ray of sunshine when I'm about to rain in my life. She's the love that I yearn and crave when I'm about to become filled with hate and bitterness. She's the reason I smile every single day because I wake up next to her. She is the one that I was looking for all my life. Baby, I love you. Dawn Williams Long.
Oh, wow. Wow. And give it up. Dapper Cool. Man, everyone, see, that's why women love poets, because they're so romantic, and they make them think about love and romance a different way.
Let me tell you something. Something. Dapper Cool doesn't normally write poetry.
Oh, really?
I'm surprised with that. He normally sings. So I'm gonna have to get in touch with him and be like, you know what, kudos, my brother, because I didn't know that he even wrote poetry. So there goes somebody else that's
there you go.
Poetry out of his heart.
Exploring different avenues of self-expression, and the thing about what is awesome about art, that's when you can be completely free. So you're only limited by your own imagination.
Absolutely.
And that's why if you look at a lot of just oppressed or repressed cultures, Japan, Puerto Rico, whatever, just like the art scenes, black people, Asian, Japan. What's up? Yeah.
You've done a lot of traveling. How would you say that the art scene differs from what you've experienced within the United States, or even Pittsburgh alone?
Oh, well, so the thing is, from me, I come from my hip hop perspective. I'm a student of hip hop, so globally, if you see, there's this documentary on Netflix. I saw it a while ago, but it's about hip hop, and it is a global phenomenon. It's outlived disco, all the other genres, and it's the most popular thing among the youth, primarily because it resonates with the youthful teen angst, like a lot of being misunderstood, and it's an avenue of one of my friends, he said, he's like, I think rap is just one of the most rawest, it fully encapsulates raw emotion the best.
Yeah.
Especially anger, you know what I mean? And that's why you see a lot of, and hip hop originally started as, it was as a movement, as a platform for voice, for people who had nothing. And then it was able to help them channel their emotions. A lot of them come from troubled backgrounds. A lot of help them channel it productively. And then instead of the violence and a lot of gang violence but it was what united all the rival gangs around the Bronx in the late 70s, early 80s. So, and that's why I was like, it's such a beautiful thing, like the origins of hip hop.
And it's so informative.
Yeah, and it's like, so exactly.
Do you remember that song by Nas? I know I can.
Exactly, yeah. Be what I want to be. Yeah, if I work hard at it.
Listen to those lyrics, and it's like, whoa, this brother's got some serious knowledge that he's spitting. But it had
same with Tupac. yeah.
Tupac too.
Yeah.
So much positive and so much positivity and so much knowledge in some
100%
rap songs. Now, I can't say that about every single artist or every single rap song.
Yeah, of course.
For the most part, like you said, that raw emotion is just, it's amazing, especially when you have people that can relate to what you're talking about. Now, one of the things that I find amazing is that, with rap and songs and everything else, what this should open everyone's eyes to is how common, or how many commonalities we have as the human people. So you know how we have different groups and sects and everything else, but really when you think about it, these musical artists, they put out music and so many different people relate to their music. So that only goes to show that we are more similar than what we would like to acknowledge.
100%.
Yes.
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 It's just, it's the raw truth right there.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. Oh wait, I have this lyric. It's like, hip hop's about community, bringing people of different backgrounds together, like you and me. And so, like, yeah, hip hop's about yeah. So, it's what brought, like, the origins of hip hop, like in New York and in the Bronx. It was the Puerto Ricans and then the brothers, and the sisters, the black people, and then they were sharing the culture. It was like, that's why in the b-boying they started incorporating salsa and bachata like steps and stuff like that. And the dance, it was like, and then and they started the Caribbean drums and stuff and the bongos and stuff. And that's what Afro-Caribbean, all this stuff. And it was just became like this huge remix of all that stuff that like that captured youthful emotions. And then they were throwing block parties and all that stuff. So it's pretty dope. Oh, and everyone, this is we have our special guest of what we threw this event for Ed Gainey is here, and
hello.
We'll give it some time to it's gonna connect. It's connecting the audio right now. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, all right.
Hello.
Hello.
How's everybody?
Doing well. How are you?
Good.
Welcome to the event, Ed Gainey. This is your show.
And Michelle.
How y'all doing today?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic.
I'm good. They say y'all got the right event up in here, huh?
Yes.
Y'all got that good event, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, we featured 2 artists so far, and it's been pretty cool. And all the little conversation we've had, very insightful conversation about like art and stuff. So, but yeah,
that's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for having me this evening.
Yeah, thanks for showing up. Yeah,
Definitely.
So how's everything going on your end? How's campaigning and everything?
So far, so good. They throwing a lot of negative ads up. So when they start doing that, that means we know the race is close.
Yes.
Yes. But I let them define themselves. The one thing
they wouldn't attack you if you weren't intimidating.
Yeah, and then when you start throwing up negative, misleading ads, it is what it is. But I try to do is, like this is politics, right? So I try not to get down in the dirt with them and all like that. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna define yourself, but don't let nobody get you in the dirt, because 9 out of 10, you know what I'm saying? Like they use that as half of the stuff they would say or do in politics. If it was any other industry, they wouldn't do. So you gotta know that going in. And like I tell people, you know what I mean? I've been attacked my whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, these attacks that they're doing right now ain't nothing new. This is the ways of the world. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm running, because I just think that, you know what I mean? If you're gonna change direction, you got to change the city. You know what I'm saying? And it's time that you have somebody that want to see the city grow up, just not grow old. And we, culture is beautiful. Like I tell my kids this, you know what I mean? If you only know one culture, like I tell my kids, don't just tell me about Black culture, tell me about universal culture. I want you to know Black culture, but I want you to know all type of culture, because in the globalization of the world, you know what I mean? The more diverse your society is, the more diverse your city is, the stronger you are.
100%. There you go. See?
You know what I mean? So when you think about it, you want your children to be as diverse. Like the thing that made me mad about Pittsburgh Public Schools is that they don't have a diverse, like to me, you should have every ethnic group as a teacher in your school system.
Wow, we talk about that all the time.
To teach these kids about globalization and how the world, if you only, like I used to tell, like, I told everybody, you marry who you marry, but if you ain't never dated outside your own race, how much have you lost?
Wow.
There you go.
Except for in your own race, how shallow are you? If you ain't learning nobody else's culture but your own culture, you shallow.
Wow.
You ain't deep.
I had someone laugh at me once before, Mr. Gainey. I said, you know what? I feel like every single culture is beautiful. We need to embrace that. And they said, well, why? And I said, well, if you think about it, you can see the whole world through someone else's eyes if you just open your mind. So
Yeah.
I agree with you.
And if God created multiple people, listen, the thread is love. You know what I'm saying? So God created multiple people to get to know one another, not to war with one another.
Right.
The only people that want you to war against each other is power and principalities.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah.
People that got the power and principality. That's who wants war. That's who creates racial lens. That's
Yep.
who creates, that's who gives a bad name to cultural differences.
100%.
What is love? The difference between two people. You know what I mean? So if love is the difference between two people that brings them together based on the yin and the yang, why wouldn't I want to learn differences of other people?
Boom.
I never thought about that. That's a very interesting definition of love. That's very insightful. I like that. That's deep. That's deep. Very, very deep.
Difference. Love, because love makes a difference, right?
100%.
Yes, I say that all the
Love
time.
is everything. Love is life.
Love is why we're
life,
here.
right?
That's why we're here.
You know what I mean? So if that's life and love makes a difference, then love is difference.
Yes. Yep. There you go. Spoken from the man of the people, Ed Gainey, everybody.
Gainey.
I mean, that's just real right there. That's what I learned growing up. You know what I mean? That's what I learned. You shallow as heck if you only know one thing. You shallow. I ain't trying to be shallow. I want to be deep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I was just telling Steve earlier that I was born and raised in San Diego, California. And in San Diego, California, we had a big melting pot of just every culture, every tone of skin. That's what I grew up with. I think on my block, I had a Mexican friend, I had a white friend, I had a Hawaiian friend, I had an Asian friend. I had all these friends in different backgrounds, and what it did for me was it helped me to develop into the person that I am today.
Absolutely.
I can never remove myself from that little girl, because that's when I was the happiest. That was when I felt like I was whole. My Black people, I love my Black people. I am so pro-Black, but at the same time, I feel like each and every other person in each and every other ethnicity, culture, what have you, there is a cohesiveness that we should have, whether we want it or not. Yeah. I feel like that's how we make a difference, and that's how we learn about ourselves even more, because that's what we want to do, is we want to learn about ourselves, and we want to be able to live life to the fullest. Now, like you said, if you feel like you should only stick to one race or one people, you're closed-minded, and you
100%. Yeah.
Growing up to do. Growing up to do.
Yeah. And in today's world, you're lost.
Yes.
In today's world, you're lost. Look, man. Look, you. Here's what I tell these young bucks right now when I talk to them, especially when they're 18, 19, and 20. I say, listen, you got one is guaranteed, the other's a choice. You know what I mean? And you're guaranteed to grow old if you're lucky, but you ain't guaranteed to grow up.
Wow.
I
like that. I like that.
And growing up, you got to be able to learn how to learn multiple things. Like, you can't just, if you still on the corner at 20, if you still on the corner at 20 and you 40 and you still on the corner, you lost. You know what I'm saying? And which means that you never network. Like, when my daughter went to college, I told her, I said, listen, I want you to network with all type of people. I want you to get in all them groups and learn all type of different cultures. I'm gonna make you rich. She was like, what do you mean I'm gonna make you rich? I'm gonna show you that the more you know about other cultures, the more rich you become. You understand what I'm saying? Because that means that no one can take that knowledge from you. I didn't have that opportunity growing up. You know what I mean? Like, but the way the world is set up now, like, there's no reason why you shouldn't be learning other cultures.
100%.
Automatic. Like, you know, and that's why, you know, I fight so hard, for one, to unify Pittsburgh, for two, on social justice, because social justice, it breaks down the barriers. And when you break down the barriers, you have a closer world.
100%. 100%. A lot of wisdom from the man, Mr. Gainey. Yep, running for mayor for Pittsburgh. Very, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, we appreciate your support for Kind Hearts and Poetry and Me. And
poetry.
Oh, yeah.
My daughter, like, I used to write poetry.
Okay.
Now my wife will tell you, I don't write as much no more, just because.
Wait a minute. Let me stop you there. You said you don't write as much anymore. So
Which means you still write. So what you got?
The last time I wrote was I wanted to write a poem for my wife when her godmother, that was like her mother, passed away, because her godmother raised her, because her mom died when she was like 15.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to write a poem for her. That was the last poem I wrote. That was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I just don't have the time no more to write. But I used to love to write poetry. You know what I mean? And so for me, the most poetic things that, you know, I've read is the Torah, the Gospel, and the Quran.
Wow! Wow!
Wow!
Actually, very true. Very true.
It's all poetic, right? So you learn to when you read those things, you learn to speak poetic. So no matter what venue you in, you speaking poetic. You know what I mean? No matter what venue you wake up speaking poetic.
Yes.
Wake up, poetry is supposed to speak life. So if you study life, you speak life, and you make it poetic because you read those books.
Very
You're giving
nice.
me life right now, Ed.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, this is dope.
It's so true. It's so true. And you know what? I was telling Steve earlier that as children, we used to read books like Green Eggs and Ham and The Grinch and Dr. Seuss books. You know what I mean? So and those books helped us to learn.
100%.
Those books are inculcated into our souls and our spirits.
100%.
And some people, I feel like, suppress those things instead of allowing them to come out. But like I said, ever since childhood, poetry has been instilled in us. And some people, they don't want to acknowledge that, and then others embrace it fully. I'm one of those people that embrace it fully, whether people laugh at me or not. So,
and I wish I would have been there. Earlier on, I was scared of poetry, right? I was speaking loudly or say it, you know what I mean? But as you get older, like my daughter writes poetry. She's shy, right? She don't write it, but then don't want to speak about it. But I always say, tell me about your poetry, because she don't understand.
How old is she, Mr.
13. She's 13.
Oh, you should link her with me. I'll have her speaking it like a pro in no time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and Blossom is she's very good at cultivating the artistic spirit within like the youth and people who are curious about trying to build that about themselves.
See that right there? It's the coffee sign.
Yeah.
Do that right there. So she likes that artistic.
Oh,
yeah, that's dope.
You know what I mean? But I have to learn. But because nobody helped me to cultivate my artistic style, I have to learn how to help her cultivate her artistic style.
Wow.
As a good parent should.
I mean, I don't know though, because the reason why I don't know is because nobody cultivated me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't that type of party. So with her, at least I try to get her to understand that she got a gift, and don't be scared of your gift. Embrace it. And I want her to tell me about her poetry, because what she don't know that I know is that when you tell me about your poetry, I know mentally where you at.
Woo!
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually very true. That's very true. Boy, so Mr. Gainey, do you have any? Would you like to share one of your poems if you have any of them memorized?
I haven't written any in so long. I haven't written any in so long.
Oh, okay. So
my wife just came downstairs and said, "You used to write me poems."
I
used to write her poems. I did. AKA is I.
So you don't have an old one? You don't have one written down on a notepad anywhere?
No, I threw it all out. I know. AKA, she's trying to tell me she would like for me to write her a poem. That's what it is.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Go, wifey, talk him into it.
Yeah. So Ed,
I was gonna get a high mark card. You know what I mean? With high mark,
Oh yeah, so Ed, we got a question from Carol Black, and she wants to know, what do you think about the medical cannabis program here in Pennsylvania that would you like to talk to our audience? Us being a cannabis education magazine, after all.
Yeah, well, what's up, Carol? How you been?
Shout out Carol Black.
Carol Black.
I'm part of the cannabis legislation I helped write. And so it's something that I pushed through the state on the Democratic side, but of course we don't control the House or the Senate, so they gave it to Senator Fulmer, and he was the one that was the co-author, prime author on it. But I love the fact that we have medical cannabis in the state of Pennsylvania. Let me say that first. I'm very disappointed at the pricing of cannabis. I think that it should be lower.
100%.
I think the entry to owning a dispensary should be lower and a grower should be lower, but we couldn't win that fight because we have a Republican General Assembly. I believe that cannabis should be decriminalized and legalized. And the reason why, I believe that is that, I don't see why we're incarcerating people for a plant, and the reality of the situation is America been getting high since the beginning of time.
Facts.
on bad things. Not on bad things.
So, you can take some boxing if you want meth, but go to jail for smoking a blunt. You know what I mean? And I just don't think that's right. I think we've destroyed families.
100%. Facts.
I believe we destroyed families by putting them in jail. And I also believe that that the whole war on drugs was a failure from the door. We spent $1 billion fighting a war while people still living in poverty. We could have spent that billions of dollars to move people out of poverty, to make sure they had the right resources around them to help build a life. $1 billion and all the money that went to law enforcement that created a us against them mentality. And now all of a sudden you got racial profiling, you got more hatred and division than we do unity and love.
Yeah.
You think about all that came off of the power of a plant.
Yeah.
So that shows you just how powerful the plant is. And so for me, we have to get into some restorative justice and really move in a way that for the people, for the families that suffered, there should be some type of equity. They should get some money. They should be able to play in this new cultivating game called cannabis. And also they should be released out of jail immediately, with no questions asked. And they should be, as part of their compensation package, they should be given the ability to take classes at CCAC, learn about the legal way to do the cannabis game. Yes. And so I think that there are some things that we can accomplish. But I think it's going to take all of us coming together. I think it's only a matter of years before cannabis is going to be legal. The only thing that worries me is whose position. Like right now, the reason why medical cannabis is so strong is because it's positioning people that when it becomes legal, they can multiply their revenue. Because
it's all about money at the end of the day. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So this little guy down here that been hustling for days.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
He's out, right? He's out. He can't get in, right? But you got these people that will take the ideas of that was illegal and have the money and investors to be able to come and invest appropriately, to be able to get a return on their investment.
Yep.
While this guy out here that has sweat equity and ran around for days, he gets nothing.
Yep.
And so the whole system is wrong.
Yes, sir.
We got to change that whole system.
Agreed. Agreed. There you have it, people. If you like cannabis, or especially if your loved ones or family has been affected by cannabis, to vote for Ed Gainey, man for the people. So
I appreciate that. Thanks, Steve. It's just time. I agree.
Yeah.
And here's the catch: I would prefer Pennsylvania to legalize before they change it at the federal level.
Wow.
I would love for Pennsylvania to. You know why? Because that means we already got a system in place.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's only a matter of time anyway. So it's before it becomes illegal. The cat's already out of the bag. So yeah, it'd be nice for Pennsylvania to be on the frontiers of that. So it's pushing for that. So
my Republican colleagues said the reason why they don't want to legalize it is because they don't want to have a weed state. They don't want a weed type state. I'm sitting here like, America begin high. I mean, like they ain't gonna stop. I mean, well, it's already here. It's in every county in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
I mean, I don't.
It's almost like they have blinders over their eyes that they create themselves.
Yeah, because they want to be self-righteous. Just be righteous.
Very nice. Yeah. So, how much time did you have, Mr. Gainey?
I got another 10 minutes. I'm good.
Oh, you do? Okay, got you. Okay, yeah. Does anyone have any questions from our audience that you guys would like to, Mr. Gainey, to know? Let's see. Okay, so from Dominic Purdue, we got a question. Mr. Gainey, do you have any incentives for local members of the community who want to open businesses in areas such as McKeesport and Homewood who want to bring money into those low-income areas?
In the cannabis business? Is that what she's talking about?
Let's see. She doesn't specify. I guess just do you have any incentives for local members to open businesses in areas such as McKeesport and Homewood?
Well, I can't say too much.
Low-income areas,
but in Homewood, in most vulnerable business, in most vulnerable low-income communities where you have small businesses, I'm on record as saying that some of the recovery dollars that was passed by President Biden needs to go into those communities that's been overserved to really prop up their small business community, because we know that they were just at the break-even point before the pandemic, so we know where they at now that the pandemic done hit. So first and foremost, we need to spend some money out of this recovery money to be able to make sure that we create safety nets so that they don't go out of business. Because if they go out of business, that means the people that they hire from the neighborhood now are unemployed, and now that's a whole nother revolving, spiraling out of control situation. Secondly, I think that if you want to really improve small businesses in low-income community, I also advocated for having them at the table. So you get to eat when you're at the table, because then that means that everybody knows what you need in order to succeed. And the third thing is that we have to open up access to capital, because you can't grow if you have no capital.
Wow, it's so true. Resources.
Resources is important, but not just resources. Is when I say access to capital, I'm also talking about how you invest your capital.
100%.
We were just talking about it. There's a difference between art and business. Like, the best way I can say it is in my lifetime. If you say, well, Ed, who's the greatest artist you ever heard? I'll probably say Tupac Shakur. But if you ever say, Ed, who's the best business person you ever heard? I'm gonna say Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So he multiplied his investment.
100%.
On the artistic form, Pac was a different type of artist. He was a pure artist.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's a pure businessman.
So how do we bridge that gap then for the people that aren't, aware or privy to on how to do that? I really feel like there should be courses, there should be some type of learning or engagement to where small business owners and people who want to start their businesses, they should have action in that degree.
Yeah, I think that I think you're 1000% right, and that's why I think they have to be at the table. But here's the catch, and here's always the difficulty, is that we practice our talent so much that we don't fall in love with the business.
It's true.
You have to really be focused on, like every day you get up, working on your business. I mean, like, it just can't be every day you get up, you work on your talent, your talent.
100%.
You got to work on your business.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because if you're not working on your business, then your talent can only take you so far. Like,
yes,
everybody got a talent, but what separates you is how well you do in business.
Yes.
How do you create your business plan? How do you get in front of mentors? Like, we always say we can't find mentors, right? Well, wisdom is not readily apparent. So you can't just say you want a mentor and think you're gonna find one.
Well, here and then too, Mr. Gainey, I feel like a lot of times people's ego get ahead of them. They do have mentors, but they don't want to be told how to do something.
Yeah.
I think that people get sensitive when they're being critiqued, or when someone says something the wrong way. So I feel like there are, like you said, a lot of mentors out there.
Yeah, but growth hurts.
It does.
Growth hurts.
Yeah, I do.
I ain't saying it feel good. I don't like it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's a reality that if you're growing, you're going to go through some pain. Like, you can't get to the next level without pain.
Woo.
There you go.
So, for us to sit here and say that you just want an easy way to do things, there's no microwave meals in this business.
Yes, sir.
You got to get up every day with a mentality that you want to do better in business.
Wow.
And that's hard because you got to go through that pain.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I know some wonderful artists. I mean, wonderful artists, wonderful painters.
Yeah.
I mean, they could do it in their sleep, but they can't capitalize on their artistic form because they don't understand business.
Yes, facts, 100%.
I mean, so you don't know how to run your business.
Yeah.
All you can do is create art.
Yep.
And then and that's how a lot of people get taught. They don't understand the business of it. So someone can see your value in your artistic form, and they're a better businessman. They're gonna get you.
Yep.
They're gonna get you. It's 100% sure they're gonna get you. And so what I tell people, if you really want to start business, one, you heard how I said how from a government position, how we can help you. That's number one. But number two is you got to ask yourself every day you get up, how you going to go get it?
Yep.
How you going to go get this knowledge? Who you going to get around that's going to give you this knowledge? Because it's easy to talk about, it's hard to be.
Yep.
And so you got to get up every day with a mentality that you want to go get this knowledge on how to start a business. So if you got 24 hours in a day and this is your desire to learn how to start a business, and you wake up and then you come home at 9 o'clock at night and you come home with the same knowledge you had when you woke up, you didn't go get it.
That's true.
That's a good way to measure it. Yeah, I like that. Just have a little bit more knowledge by the time you go back to bed. What did you learn today? Right? That's a good way to measure progress.
Because you're looking for that microwave meal that, because you want to do a business, is automatically going to be available. You know how many times you're going to fail before you succeed?
Yeah. 100%.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no microwave meals, and that's what I try to tell people. Y'all want the fast track. There's no fast track to growth.
None.
Yep.
You think about it. You know, I use myself as an example. My wife hear me tell people this all the time. Like, you know, let's talk about development of people, and then maybe we can understand it from business. At 21, you become an adult, but it don't make you a man or a woman.
Nope.
Yeah.
I became an adult at 21, but I didn't become a man until I was 29.
Right.
So when you think about it from that perspective, how long will it take you to develop a business?
Woo! That's yes. It's so true. It is so true. Because people want to become rich overnight. Let's face it. They want to do that overnight.
I do too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you hit the lottery, it don't happen.
Right.
Yeah. And most lottery winners, they lose their fortune anyway shortly thereafter, and then most of them fall into depression because they don't know they haven't invested in systems for them to maintain and multiply their money because they didn't learn that know-how. So it's all
But there's a reason for that, right? There's a reason. Now let's be honest. There's a reason. It goes back to education.
Exactly.
America serves two masters. It serves democracy and capitalism.
Yep.
Now they'll teach you democracy, but you only really learn the tools. I mean, the real tools of capitalism if you go to an Ivy League college or university.
Yep.
Like they don't teach you. They should start teaching. If you want to break the chains of poverty, then you should start teaching people capitalism in 3rd grade.
100%. 100%.
So then it's
bonds, mutual funds, angel investors, real estate, taxes, the whole nine. If you really show people the American way from the capitalistic side, because we have to deal with it, whether we like capitalism or not is irrelevant. It's the government of the day.
Yep.
So you got to ask yourself, why do they teach us democracy, but they won't teach us the toolkit of capitalism?
Yeah.
Because they know one will free you and one will keep you in a system.
Yep. And that's what we're doing with a lot of our kids' education programs, which we're pretty excited to show you about. But so Mr. Ed, what do you? So we want to have some, and as a part of our education programs, we're throwing a lot of music events, and we want to have we at Kind Hearts want to have our music event again for you. So we had a 4th disciple of Wu-Tang promoting you as well as Killer Priest, and so we're curious, when can we get you back?
Oh, listen, whenever. I love it. I mean, whenever. The quicker, the sooner, the better.
The sooner, the better. There you go. We just go.
I love it. You know, I would love that. I mean, I think that this is the best way to connect. The one thing about the pandemic, I tell people that I ain't saying I like it. You get zoomed out, but Zoom lets you touch so many people at one time. It's like a big classroom.
Yes.
It's like a big classroom, and because people are getting used to it, there's so much information and knowledge that can be shared. Like, I tell people all the time, this is the because we in the season we in now, it's the best time to teach business.
Wow, it's so true.
You know, because all business is going to be ran just like we doing it right now. It's all
There you go.
So how do I become how do I come better understanding the tools of this virtuality that I can sell product?
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Oh man, we're gonna do a lot of things.
What? There's so much time on people's hands. It's an excellent time to open a book, and read and educate yourself, and make sure that you understand what it takes to be who you're striving to be, because let's face it, nobody's going to hand us anything on a silver platter. If we want something hard, bad enough, like what you said earlier, then we're going to go out and get it. And the best way to get it is, like you said, to educate ourselves and to pick up a book and read it. One of the things that I feel like I struggle with personally is the fact that I like to go to social media. Social media it's amazing, but at the same time, there's a lot of false news on there. There's a lot of things that could sway you in the direction that you shouldn't be swayed. So I've been taking the time to actually read, and not just some fantasy type books or anything like that, but read things that will help me to become a better person.
There you go.
I think that with all this downtime, a lot of people should be thinking about that.
100%.
How can I grow and make things better for my family? There's no better time than like the present. Yeah, so I agree with you.
Yeah, when people talk about business, you brought up a great point. We all spend a great deal of time on social media. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How much do you spend 10 minutes reading an article, a page about business? Did you take 10 minutes in your day? You want to start a business. Did you take 10 minutes in your day to read something about business? If you didn't, then it's not a vision, it's a dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a vision, you're going to do what you got to do to obtain that vision.
Yes.
So if you ain't spend 10 minutes, I said 10 minutes at a minimum.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
If you couldn't spend 10 minutes reading something to teach you about the business you want to do, then you ain't about it.
Right.
Agreed.
Right. I agree.
So Ed, and for our last question, before you get off, we got one from Takia Mitchell, and she said she heard in the interview that you noticed an issue with Pittsburgh being labeled as one of the worst places for Black women to live. She would love to know how you plan on encouraging Black women to stay in the area, and what do you think would encourage them to stay?
Business. So, I think it's a couple things, right? But let's just talk about it from a business perspective, because that's where we was at.
Yeah.
One, we need to break down the procurement package to create more contracts. The procurement process is how people bid on contracts. We need to break them down so that we can create more contracts across the board. We also need to work with women organizations to ensure that they understand by providing technical assistance for some of the terminologies in these requests for proposals or requests for qualifications, so that they can better understand exactly how to bid on contracts. So we need to have some classes set up to teach them how to bid on contracts. Thirdly, is there has to be mentorship somewhere to teach, woman to woman, where we can really begin to have established women teach younger women how to start businesses. And
100%, very nice.
And we need to work with younger organizations like Gwen's Girls, and organizations like that to really reach down before, I'm talking about like the 6th grade level.
Yeah.
Talking about the importance of business and why business is important. I think childcare is another big place. I come from a single mom, so I know how important childcare was. Right now, they got $2 million set aside in the city budget for childcare that they never released. I can't comprehend why. There are things that we can do. And then thirdly, you got to have women at the table. You got to have Black women at the table saying, how do we make your life better? I don't think that it's always about what I can tell, what I would do. Part of research and development is find out what you need me to do. You know what I mean? And then once you find out, once you tell us what we need to do, then it's up to us to create the programs that we can deliver to you so that you could be more effective in what you want to do.
Very nice.
So I think those are the three things that really move business forward.
Very nice. Yeah, there's a lot of. I'm excited for the future because we're about to have an education series about a women's roundtable, and they're talking about like all the issues with social issues, whether just with that women face, and Blossom Nicole's gonna be on it, and then just to educate the masses on all these stuff. So really excited.
And some of it in business too is public health.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Public health is a major thing. Like we have to focus on, like, we've all been, like, if you ain't never been injured, like, if you don't come from a dysfunctional family, I probably ain't too much. Because there's nothing you can teach me.
Yeah.
We've all been injured growing up. We all got childhood scars.
Yes, 100%.
That's not to say that the childhood was bad. It is what it is. We got childhood scars, and we've never got any type of help for us, period, in dealing with it. And we want to know why we wake up feeling certain ways, why we have these constraints in our life that don't have us believe that we can. I mean, there's so much. There's some days even I get up and I got to sit there and I got to think, what, can I really do this? What am I going to give it my effort today? Like, why do I think like that? Like what occurred that has us thinking, looking.
What occurred? Yeah.
What occurred? Like, I don't, and sometimes it's so deeply buried, we don't even remember, but we got to think, we wouldn't be thinking like that if something didn't happen.
Right.
So, a public health plan is very important. It is. And education is always a requirement.
Very nice, Mr. Gainey. Thank you very much. All right. Hold on one second. I'm having issues, sound issues. But yeah, I think that's all the questions that we have. Is there anything else? Is there anything some last notes that you want to say to give to the people, to our audience?
Hey, just thank y'all for having me today. I just thank y'all for having me. I appreciate this. And keep advocating for cannabis to be legal in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Really, in the United States. I just think that it's time. It's beyond time. It's just time.
Yeah. I totally agreed. Very nice.
And restore some of these broken families.
Absolutely.
I think that's one of the biggest things, because it goes back to what you were talking about earlier when you said that we have scars. Some of us have childhood scars. And I think a lot of those scars have a lot to do with male leaders being behind the bars. So I think that, whether, they want to work toward rebuilding their families or not, at least they have the choice to do that. I feel like, me growing up, I watched my mom take care of me all by herself because my father had been locked up. He got out and, things were fine. But during that time, we faced some serious trials. So I feel like with, if things were to go in that direction, that a lot of people would have the opportunity to restore families. And I think that that's where a huge gap is today, is within the family unit. If the family unit isn't, working together like a well-oiled engine, it makes it harder for the children to go to school each and every day, like you said, and believe in themselves. Yeah. So when those patches are, put back together, it would make a difference. I really do feel like that.
I agree. That's facts right there. I tell you straight up, listen, like, a child can't learn if a child's not confident.
Whew.
You know what I mean?
100%. That's like 80% of success. So
and because as a child, I didn't, I wish I'd have did better in school. I do, but I didn't understand the meaning of school. They just said education. And I think there's a difference between education and learning. Learning, you don't forget. Education, you just think is a requirement to get somewhere.
And you are the bomb. I
uh,
love your thinking.
it's just the truth.
It's
So
the truth.
for me, in school, I didn't have that. Like I didn't understand school. Like I didn't take school serious till I got to college. And I had and it's because I was in an environment of people that came from the same environment that I came from, but they refused to go back to that environment with nothing. They wanted something out of life. And I had never, coming out of Pittsburgh, all I had ever seen was, I had never seen, black businesses. I never met a black politician. I didn't know none of that. I didn't get there until I got to Baltimore, and I seen it for myself that you can have a different level of success no matter where you come from.
Yeah.
But that's not the city I came up in, so I didn't see it, so I couldn't inspire to be it. But if you really want a child to learn, this is what, the hardest thing is, a child gotta have confidence. They do. They just gotta have confidence. Like if a child can break down a phone, download all these crazy apps, you know what I mean? You can't tell me this kid can't learn 3 + 3.
It's true.
He can run technology, but you gonna tell me he can't learn 3 + 3? No, it's confidence. See, he loves that technology. He loves that phone, or she loves that phone. They're gonna spend intimate time with that phone. That's why I gotta take the phone off of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're gonna spend that time with them, and they're gonna learn how to do it. My kids know how to do things with the phone. I'm trying to figure out how they learned it. So
Right.
what I tell them is, if you can do the phone, you can do the schoolwork.
It's true. They all know how to work those phones. It's crazy. There's kids younger than me that know how to work phones. So I agree
The
with
school
you.
district can't tell me they can't learn 3 + 3.
Right.
It's about how much confidence you installing in them.
And then that goes back to how you said the teaching system needs to be a little bit more diversified, because a lot of times we have teachers who are teaching kids. The kids can't relate to their teachers. They can't relate to the lingo or the English that they use. It's very important to have teachers that look like the students teaching them so that they can relate more. And I worked within the school system, so I do know that there's a disparity there, and it makes a huge difference. I remember being in a classroom and teaching. I wasn't the certified teacher, but I was the teacher's assistant, and with my presence being in that classroom, dealing with the Black students in that classroom, their test scores went up because I understood what they were saying. And if I said something, I said it in a way that sounded like their mother. So they were able to relate with me, and they were able to, take what I was telling them and put it into action. So I had a lot more patience with them. And, and I'm not saying that, they can't be taught, but to me, it seems like it's so much harder when you don't have teachers that look like the students. It's a lot harder. It's facts.
That's facts. I mean, and it goes back to, like I said, you visualize what you see. And so, like, that's why I tell people all the time, like, I had a conversation. Wow. I had a conversation with a lady about a month ago. And one of the things that she's a religious woman. All right, she's a religious woman. And the young mom was probably talking to her child in a way that you might not want to see a parent talk to a child.
Wow.
And the comment was, see, that's what's wrong with today's youth. But what she didn't understand was that their mama got trauma.
Oh, yeah.
Mama got 3 babies with her.
Yes.
This mom was trying to make it. This mom was coming into the revelation of her situation. And she's so stressed out and there's so much issue she's dealing with that she don't mean to talk to her child like that. See, she loves her child, but there's an injury there.
See, you making me emotional because that is a sad fact, a very sad fact. The fact that those injuries are all they're recycling. It's like an ongoing hamster wheel, because if that mother wasn't taught, how in the world can she teach her child?
Well, and I think that, we talked about again, you could being 21 makes you an adult, but it don't make you a man or a woman. And, the reality, and I come from that, I told you my mom was a teenage mom. So, my mom wasn't a woman when she had me. And so it's hard to teach what you don't have.
Yeah, it's true.
And if you're in that adult status before you cross that line of man or womanhood, you still got to raise that child the best way you know how.
Right.
And if you don't have a support system in place to help you, then that multiplies your trauma.
Yeah.
And I know that I had a grandma. My grandma was that grandma for real. So, like you can get it however you want it. For real, with no problem. She had no.
We need more of those.
Yeah, you can get it. You can get it however you want it, and she lets you know on the door. It's just the ways of the world. Like that. That's not new.
Yeah.
When we talking ain't nothing new. It's just that's why you hear me say a public health plan is so important. That mama need help. That mama probably ain't, you don't know if she working or not.
Right.
You don't know what type of food she got in her house.
Right. And I think that's one of the biggest things is that society today lacks compassion.
100%.
Yeah. Steve, I like the way you say that 100%. I like that. I'm gonna steal that. But anyway, 100% on that. That's the truth.
Yes.
There's a lot of issues out there. That's why I try not to be judgmental.
Ooh.
If I can help you, I help you. If I can, I can. But I don't have time to sit there. That's why, when they say, they running all these negative ads on you, yeah, so what? They've been talking about me my whole life. You understand what I'm saying? Say nothing new. They talking about all the great leaders of this region. They talked about King, X, all of them. You know what I mean? So what makes you think they wouldn't talk about me? You know what I mean? The reality is this, though. Nobody defines Ed Gainey except for Ed Gainey, bottom line. And so at the end of the day, I desire to run a positive race, because if I want to unify this city and create a city for all, I can't throw dirt and say I didn't want unity. That's crazy.
Right.
And it's the same with these parents. These parents, it ain't that they don't want to be good moms. You know what I mean? That's what makes me upset. Of course they want to be good moms, but they in a situation where they trying to figure out how to get out. Yeah. Just like we all did.
Yeah.
So it's almost 8:30. I know I got another one at 8:30. It's all day.
That's powerful. Thank you
for having me. I appreciate you having me this evening.
Yeah, thank
We're
you.
We're gonna be looking for that poem next time you come on, though.
Yeah, see, I ain't wrote it so long, though. You know what I mean?
No worries. It's like riding a bike.
The next time I come on, I'm gonna take a minute and throw something together.
Yes.
Hey, y'all have a great evening, and thanks for having me.
So nice.
All right,
so nice
thank you, Ed.
to you.
Thank you, Ed.
I appreciate it. And to all the moms out there, happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great one.
All right, thank you,
Take
Ed.
care.
Go Ed Gainey, everyone.
Woo!
Well, yeah, now y'all had it from the man himself, Ed Gainey, man for the people. Very interesting insights, and yeah, that was really cool. Got me thinking about a lot of the problems in society and like how to fix them and stuff. So definitely going to be doing a lot of research and stuff. Anyway, yeah, it's really dope. I'm glad he gave us. No, go on. Yeah.
It's going to take a village.
100%. It takes a village to raise just a child.
A lot of
it's gonna take like a city. It's gonna take a nation or whatever. A city, yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's gonna take a lot.
But yeah, man, I was like, I'm pleasantly surprised he gave us a lot more than there's a lot of time. So yeah, yes. And then but yeah, we'll be able to splice this out and then like be able to do that. But oh yeah, for everyone who's watching, tune in. You can check the link in the super chat about to donate to Ed Gainey. And we appreciate the support, everybody. So and we shall keep the show going.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. Yeah, so who's the next artist in line?
So we have Invisible Ink. He was our champion of the last poetry battle.
That's right.
We had 5 really, really great rounds of really, really great, or I'm sorry, 4 rounds of fire poetry from 5 different poets, and he was the winner. He took home $150 cash prize along with a trophy, and his ego was through the roof. No, I'm joking. He was extremely happy. But this brother is just, he's a family man. You know, he walks by faith, not by sight. He reminds me of what we spoke about earlier, as far as someone who has hip hop and they're using it for the good. Like, all of his poetry is knowledgeable. It says something. This brother is fire.
All right, so let's give it up for, let's see what he's got. So it's Dapper Cool. Oh, wait, no, it's Invisible Ink. That's right.
Yes.
So let's see.
My name is Joseph Norfleet, aka Knowledge.
Jordan, oops, my bad. Ink. That was my fault.
Originally from Waterbury, Connecticut. Started off about 6 years ago writing poetry and doing spoken word. What I have for you today is called King Drip. Go like this. When my thoughts and concepts connect, they explode on contact. Thunder and lightning flash and my pen blasts and hits the pad. When it rains, it pours. But that's when I brainstorm on how to live life to get a slice of this American 3.14. See, when it comes to this poetry, I'm taking everything that comes to me. I'm taking the cake, the ice, the cream, the royalties, plus the publishing. Etch my mark in history, sign my name in calligraphy, prolific like hieroglyphics when I spit this like B.I.G. I started off finger painting, inking these pages, crawling, baby steps taking the stages. But it's 6 years later. Now look who's walking, talking on stages. Every day is like Christmas. I'm mad gifted when I spit it. Can you understand the word that coming out of my mouth? It's like Elohim kissed it. Inhale, exhale, then all heaven hails because I prevail. My script gets worshipped like the Holy Grail when I released the thesis from underneath the veil. No myth, when I was born, they passed out gifts. The stars were aligned, shining. Angels stood in line to give me hugs and greet me with a kiss. A black king had arrived to enlighten minds and open up blinded eyes like Jesus from the truth that I spit. I'm the first and the last. There'll be no one after me. So don't come at me with all that blasphemy. The only one who can compare is the one in the mirror standing, staring, looking back at me. It's like I mixed with Thor and Dr. Banner and raised from the rays of the gamma to create and unleash a new Marvel character. Ultimately, to smash MCs when the pen is in my hand, just call me Arm and Hammer. I'm not Kendrick, but King Drip. Poseidon when I pour this gift. My lyrics spill like I'm clumsy, I'm crazy, off the meds, suffering from side effects. Sometimes when I'm in bed, I wake in cold sweats, verbally blurting lyrics that come to my head like I got to rest. Blah, blah, cause mediocre's over. Things about to change. I'm back in the game off the bench from the ankle sprain, going LeBron with this pin hard in like James. Haters didn't want me to make it. They was mad because I wasn't fading. They wanted me to downsize and decline, but instead I kept climbing and upgrading. They wanted to see me on my back, but instead I bounced back, I laughed. They wanted to see me down bad. But I'm up with my feet up, re-up. Ha ha! I'm about to cop another bag. I want it all, but still I want it all. Still got the hunger, the underdog, because I can't let them take me underdog. I know they coming, creeping like a thief in the night, blanketed by the fog. They want to topple me from the top of the world and see me fall. These Fred Sanfords tried to Humpty Dumpty me. They thought they hung me, but no, you big dummies! Because the same rope they use as a noose, I use as a bungee. Bounce back to the top, my foot on their neck. Look, they still up under me. I'm still getting money. I hit them with the big one. Elizabeth, they coming to join you, honey. I'm elevating and levitating, meditating by rotating, concentrating, frozen in a constant state of greatness, amazing grace, gravitating. My confession is greater. I got the wisdom of Solomon and Joseph's favor. Foreshadows of a beloved son. I got hugs from above. I'm beloved like David. I get my inspiration from a higher greater. My authorization is from the author and authenticator, the creator and world narrator. Because when nothing existed, he spoke everything into existence. I can move mountains with the strength of my spoken word. That's the power of persistence. My complexion is the reflection of excellence. I'm made in his image. No lie. Even if I was blind, my hands was tied and I couldn't write. Boom, boom, I would still spit the truth in Bluetooth. My mind thinks in Wi-Fi. Five.
Wow.
My name is Joseph.
He
Joseph
said, my mind
Morford.
thinks in Wi-Fi.
That was nuts. Man, talk about a showman. That guy,
Yeah.
his performance. Oh yeah, he's the one that won the last event that
Yes.
we
And that
covered.
was that. I told him, I
Yeah.
said that was my favorite poem right there.
Yeah, that was nuts. Oh wow, that
Yes.
was crazy. That
You
was
see all of the, like, he's very
Yeah.
animated.
Yeah,
Like, he
very
brings
animated.
life to each and every word that he
Very,
spits. It's
very,
crazy.
very, very
Yeah.
good. Oh wow.
He is awesome. Yeah, I actually met him through my friend Shayla Foster's group. He put a poem in there, and it was a short poem, you know, and I read it, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's fired. Like, it was, I promise you, it was not more than 6 lines. And it was powerful. And I said, oh, this brother has something. And I was like, you know what, you need to come to Pittsburgh and show Pittsburgh what you have. And we spoke it into existence. He came here. He's actually coming back in June for another event. So I'm
Very dope,
extremely,
very dope.
extremely happy.
Looking
So
forward to that.
our next poet we have is Blue Note.
Blue Note.
Yes.
All right, hold on one second.
Now, Blue Note is my twin flame.
Yeah.
Blue Note is, I don't even know how to describe this woman, because she, to me, is so full of light. And you could feel her, you could feel what her mission is. She don't even have to tell you. And the way she communicates, and, you know, it's not just her artistry that I'm extremely intrigued by, but it's absolutely who she is as a person. And as you can see, I'm a Renaissance woman, and that depicts her to a T. So yeah, I can't wait to hear this. I haven't listened to this full performance, so I'm excited.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Blue Note.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Blue Note, BLOUNOTE. So yeah, I'm a singer, songwriter, poet, orator, writer, editor, Renaissance woman. Been a poet now for about 25 years. Not so much a public speaking poet, but have been writing poetry and reciting poetry and living and breathing poetry for that amount of time. So today I would like to share a piece with you all called The Cipher. Admittedly, originally written by myself as a rap without a hook. But I'll switch up the flavor a little bit today. It's still kind of more poetry for me. So I'm going to share that piece with y'all now, and I hope you can feel and love it. Let's vibe. Come on in. Relax. Grab you a seat. Kick off your shoes. This is going to be a retreat. It's all about rejuvenation, meditation, shit, whatever you need, really. Here's a place for you to live out your dreams. Open the doors of your mind. Elevate. Fly. It's all by design. This shit provides. It's the spot to unwind. Our circle stands the test of time. No discrimination. Ain't no denying. The ties that bind the peace of mind that the rotation is supplying. This welcome place can put your foot in the race. Remind your soul to slow and steadies the pace. And once you clean up your face, you might relate to all the shit that's at stake. And feel the vibe as you get high. Trust in that tote you gonna take. You feel a feeling. You straight? Oh, that's that feeling that's great. It ain't that hard to relate. Something you can't recreate. It's all about give and take. Ain't no faking to this shit. If you do, you miss the bliss. Just relax, please. I insist. This genie is past to grant your wish. If you pass, then you're dismissed, but you're still welcome to commit. It's the beauty and the hit, the spitting lyrics about this shit. Been to break it down. Have you coming back around and vibing and listening to my sound? And the circle is where I will be found. John Gonga leaps and bounds, breathing potions of motion, loving everything around. And you still wondering about the crown of the hottest high in town? Let's put shit in perspective. Watch that drill come back around. Hit this. Marinate. Don't fold up. The feeling's taking over. Got you easing in your shoulders. I told you I would show you. Vision's blurred, but thoughts are bolder. The problems done got older. It's the method of the doja that has brought peace to those before you. You want peace? What's the hold up? Don't act like you ain't told much. Got me preaching and teaching about things that's holding down the bulk of us. Don't be insulted. The remedy's strong. This flow can last throughout the whole night long. Loop the song. Let's get it on. Our nerve and our swerve. Let's have an exchange of words. Discuss the bees, the birds. Limitations are absurd. Ain't provided near cure. Way I'm dealing with mine don't even have to influence yours. But you can learn from your turn. Relax. Release. Let it burn. Try to churn concerned thoughts that have you feeling distraught. Because in the circle, you caught. This happiness can't be bought. You just inhale in your mind and leave that bullshit behind. And once you feel me, you find no need to step out of line. This universal good time can make you laugh till you cry. Ain't no use in me lying. I'm simply trying to convince. Tap into that seventh sense, just like a York. So intense. Ain't no need for suspense. Stay on the path from whence you came, and every time you reach out, baby, the trees of life gonna know your name. This ain't no cat and mouse game. This union, it purifies, it settles. From hate, it separates. That stress don't even meddle. Mental diamonds we embezzle. Us aggravation rebels done joined to form an alliance around hydroponical science. We stay bejeweled in a pool of floating flowers. No rules. This game of life is a school. Now do what you do to stay cool. Because this inspiration, it's an endless invitation. One you welcome to engage in every time your saddle is blazing. And don't be amazed, because you're going to leave with hope inside you. Bet that door revolve and hope you find your way back to the cipher.
Wow.
Appreciate y'all. Blessings. Thank you. Blue Note, BLOUNOTE. That's the cipher. I appreciate y'all.
Wow. Wow. Blue Note. Dang. Yeah, she got her own like performance charisma vibe. Like straight up like poetic. That's dope. That was dope. That was fresh. Man. I'm definitely gonna rewatch that so I can like really ingest it. But man, that's dope. Yeah, for sure. Very
She's
nice.
Amazing. I need to let you hear her sing too.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Amazing
Yeah.
songstress.
I don't doubt it. She has a nice voice.
She's just a whole vibe. And everything that she mentioned just now, you can learn from it. What was that part she said? She said, don't be fake, because there's a lot of things that you can miss by being fake. I've never heard it put that way before.
Yeah, that's dope. That's
Be
deep.
yourself. Be yourself, so then that way you can catch all the blessings coming to you.
Yeah.
Everybody else is their own person.
Yeah,
Everybody else is taken.
Yeah.
But you're not taken. So trust in that, believe in that, move forward. And I like the fact that she said, I do understand that she was talking about, a cipher, smoking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, forgetting your problems. But I think that on a daily basis, we need to remember, that we need to do that. Because if we hold on to things and not live life to the fullest, we're only cheating ourselves. So, and my dad always used to tell me, he used to say, baby, a short man will not make himself taller by asking the universe to make him taller every single day. So the same applies to worrying about things that you can't change. There's things that you will never be able to change. So don't worry about it. Just push forward, do what you have to do, and be happy, because life is short. And I think that in her poem, I caught all of those vibes, all of it. So.
You know what's interesting is, because I didn't realize cypher is also slang for like what, smoke a circle or just passing a joint. But I was thinking of like a rap cypher, or like or just them jamming. And I was like, but like similar stuff applies, because like,
yes, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Well,
ooh, thank you, Blue Note. That was
Blue
just,
Note. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Blue Note. Yeah, give it up for her. That's where you find her socials. But it can really. I'll just before we move to the next one, I'll remind me. Kendrick Lamar is like, park the car, then we start rhyming. Yeah, bitch. Yeah, he's like, yeah, right. It's like the only thing we had to free our minds. That frees that person when we see dollar signs. Like, I don't know. It just rhymes. For some reason, I just popped that up.
I love that song. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, that's what put me on Kendrick. Money trees. Yeah. Anyway.
Right.
So, man, this is dope. I love seeing all these people for their first performance for the first time. So, who we got next?
So we have Mr. Mike Spitz. Mike, I have known since I was 12 years old in San Diego. He's actually from Connecticut, and he moved to San Diego, I think, when he was about 17, and that's where we met. He was real close to my brothers. And they were helping him with like his rap career. Well, they weren't helping him, but they were helping mentor him and stuff like that. And he's really ambitious when it comes to music.
Yep.
And he also sells merchandise, as you can see there. He has a clothing line. He also has a record label.
Whoa, very cool.
So, and he couldn't send a really long video. So I said, you know what, Mike, just send what you have.
Yeah.
Because, I was like, we need to know you. We need to see you. Why not? Just send what you have. So this is what he sent. He's very, I love his energy.
All right, let's see.
Box Boy Mike Spitz is my single Stoner Girl, produced by King Slumps, Hollywood News Click, Pro Dab Music Group. It's the news. She's a true stoner girl, she only use a hemp whip. She keeps some side, but that's what she pay her rent with. She love Bob Marley and she always say respect. It's indica, sativa, any herb to the neck. That's my word on the set. Baby girl, she got her own. That's really, really good, even when it's homegrown. Yeah, she grow too. Even make 420 soul food or any other recipe. LG, not NEC. Back rub with CBD. She be on some grown-ish 12-inch raw paper. Baby wrote a long slip and ended with a long rip. And then I gave her long smoke, then stroke, then poke while my song spit. While we fogged up our conscience. It's 420 everything, the mother drugs nonsense. 420 everything, the mother drugs nonsense. I met my stoner girl and we've been on since. She's a stoner girl. She likes blunts but prefers papers.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was dope. He's pretty dope, right?
Yeah, that was lit.
Yeah, he's pretty dope. He has he's so full of charisma. I was listening to some of his other music and he's got it. And he's mentoring like younger artists and things like that. So he's definitely doing it in San Diego. I told him, I said, you need to get to Pittsburgh so we can do something out here too.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Oh yeah, if we ever go to San Diego, definitely know who to hit up. I love San Diego, so yeah. any reason to go out there. So yeah. All right, very cool. Dang. That was a really clean verse too. It was like it was like,
right?
Wow. Yeah,
I
cool.
know. And
even
then
the subject too.
So then our last person that I have.
We have two. We have Kino and then the Rissa. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even have Kino on my paper.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Kino, she was the Homewood girl lady.
Yes.
Female artist.
Yes.
From
Kino
Homewood.
is. Yeah, Kino is my baby sis, and Kino is absolutely talented. She was the one that developed. Yeah, look at all her paintings. Look at those. And the amazing thing is she does her painting. It doesn't take her a long time to do her work, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. She's like mad hood too, like in like a cool way.
Yeah.
like I really I vibe with it. It's just dope. I told her, oh, I like it. I like her swag. It's dope.
Yeah, she definitely swag, no doubt.
All right.
I'm so mad at myself because I don't have her on my lineup.
It was just the order that you sent it. Yeah. So
yeah,
I got you. It's all good.
See, that's why I give you so much props, because you be on top of it.
Nah, you straight. You good? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, Keno Day.
Keno.
What's up, y'all? It's Keno. Known for doing poetry.
Shout out Homewood.
Kind of known. Trying to get out there. I also do a little paint. Just really recently started that. About to get out there with that. So stay tuned
Braddock.
for that.
Sorry.
I got this new poem I've been working on. I just finished it up not too long ago. So it's new. Never heard. Don't even have a title for it. But let me know how y'all like it. Girl, the way you make me feel is unbelievable. I mean, the love you give is like a dream come true. Truly blessed by God's hands himself. When I look at you, I can feel my heartbeat excel. You literally captured my heart. I surrender. It's yours. You're definitely the queen I've been searching for. That smile is one I couldn't help to adore. Every time it fades, I yearn for an encore. This is a show I want to continue for the rest of my life. Because by the end of this show, you shall be my wife. Smiling from ear to ear, showing off that ring. Being my biggest support, holding me up when I'm down. Being my invisible wings. I mean, damn girl, what did you do to me? I never thought I'd be the one talking about getting down on one knee. But that right there is why I love you. You bring out my hidden treasures, helping me find the pieces to my puzzle, only giving motivational clues. I learn more about myself through you daily. Always positive, supportive. You wear your heart on your sleeve bravely. I'm really hoping your feelings are mutual. Because then this poem will make things kind of unusual.
Hey,
Keno.
Keno Day. Get up for Keno Day, doing your thing.
I love her.
Yeah. Y'all
She's
saw how
got
swag
bars.
she is.
I told her
She's got bars.
bars.
Yeah.
You know she raps too.
Yeah. She's real.
She
said she got inspired by her brother, so it was pretty dope.
Yes. Yeah. Or no. She inspired him.
Oh, it's the other way. Okay, then I false.
Yep. Yeah. The other way around. She inspired him.
Very nice.
Sorry, kids. But yeah, so definitely they're a dynamic duo, her and her brother. Actually, the music that I sent to you, they can see you. The music that I sent to you is actually her brother.
Okay, gotcha. That's her. Yeah.
Yeah, that's her big brother. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm extremely proud of her. She's just blossoming.
Yeah,
blossoming.
And she paid homage to. She thanked you a lot for that, which is dope. So
yes.
Yep.
So we have Rissa, right?
Yeah. And then we have another one of our artists, and then we gotta bring on Takia, and then we'll
nice.
Yep. So hold on 1 second. All right.
So Rissa is a business owner. She owns Paint at Your Own Risk, or yes. And she is actually her and I are doing an event together next weekend called Poetry and Paint.
And we'll show you all the flyers for that one.
Yeah, so she's a business owner. She's right here in Pittsburgh. I love her establishment because I think it's better. No slight toward painting with a twist, but I think it's better than painting with a twist. I think that they're going to have to step their game up to catch up with this young lady.
All right. So Rissa, everybody. There you go. Rissa Shockley.
Yes.
Hey, my name is Rissa.
Hey, girl.
My business is called Paint with Rissa, but you paint at your own risk. Kind of elaborate on paint at your own risk. We're kind of like painting with a twist, but we're not. With us, you get a sketch image and you paint it how you want to paint it. We do paint and sip party events. We host children and adult paint parties. You provide friends, location. We provide everything else. We have an event coming up next week. It is a poetry and paint. We got some amazing poets coming out. Check it out. The flyers on Facebook. Also, we have paint kits available. So if you don't want us to come to your location and you want to host your own paint party, we can supply everything that you need to host your party. You can look me up on Facebook, Rissa Shockley, or my business page, Paint at Your Own Risk, or Instagram. This is pretty long. Paint_at_ your _own_risk. Check me out. Book me if you want to have your own party. Check us out if you want to come to one of our events that we be having every month. It's a different theme. So book us.
Yay,
More of a plug. And we'll go back to, here's the flyer for the event that she was talking about. So
yeah, there's me.
Mifflin. There you go. All right. And she was the last one. So we have hold on one second. One of our partners, her name is Dominique Perdue. And last weekend we did a little mentor session and I was teaching her son how to dance, and then we made a music video. But also we'll talk about this more, but she also submitted a poem that she'd like to
Yay!
And then after that we got Toki, we've been waiting very patiently, but thanks for tuning in also. Hold on one second. All right.
Waves by Dominique Perdue. It's noon somewhere on the coast.
There you go.
The water is crashing against the rocks, volatile, dangerous, and deadly, like a monsoon. The cardinal waters swirl up against her feet, sweeping her away beneath the deep. She tries to climb through each crashing wave. Alas, there is no escape. Grasping, choking for breath, her lungs fill with empty, cold carelessness. As she drifts upon the sea, all of a sudden new life surrounds thee. Fish and seagulls flock galore, as now she becomes transformed into this creature glittering with scales and fins shimmering. Having left one world and become a part of another, now the ocean is her new mother.
Wow.
Let go of one life to gain another.
Very nice. Dominique Perdue, everyone.
Wow.
She's been kind of resparking her creative drive.
And you know what? The ocean is, I love the ocean. We were just
you
talking
being from San
about
Diego, of course. Yeah.
Oh, the ocean. So
sorry, go on ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that with the ocean, if you think about it, everything that goes on in the ocean goes on right here on solid ground. And I know that sounds funny, but
what do you mean?
Elaborate,
please.
Sure. So there's different kinds of creatures, right? Different kinds of creatures.
Mm-hmm.
You have sex.
Yeah.
There's sex that goes on down there. There's mothering. There's fathering. You look at the seahorse. The seahorse is one of the few creatures that actually carries the babies instead of the mother.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's symbolic because, right here on earth, we have single fathers who are taking care of kids, that the mothers aren't present. So I feel like with the ocean, it's very symbolic. It's very symbolic when it comes to everyday life. I feel like everyday life is very mysterious. You never know what you're going to get from day to day. And I feel like the same types of things go on in the ocean, things that we don't talk about. And I know it sounds crazy, but that's just how I feel. I feel like the ocean is just, it's another world. It looks different. But if you think about it, if you think about how things go on down there, it symbolizes life.
100%. So what's crazy?
No.
No. Okay, so the ocean. So if you don't live near a body of water, so I lived in like Phuket, right? And then I would just go and it's meditative just to sit by the beach early morning and just watch the waves. And then like I also went to 2 weeks. I went to Bali and Hawaii to learn surfing, but like just the catching a wave and waves in itself is so poetic. Even though I suck at surfing, I just suck at water sports, but I did it long enough to appreciate the poetry of it, and it's long about just so like you learn about patience, you learn about like the rhythm, and then like becoming, and then how like veteran surfers, they read the waves, they saw the horizon, which one's coming. I didn't know how to do that. I was like, what the hell are they doing?
Right.
But it was like it was super dope. And then like my friend who liked surfing, hey, I talk about him events. Shout out D Money, but he's like, we were in Phuket together, Thailand, and he's just like, man, and this was like 3 a.m. He's just looking at the waves, and it was like pretty big, just powerful like waves going. He's just like, look at all that power.
Yeah.
And then he's like, so he was describing out like how with surfing, it's like being in a symbiotic relationship with nature and then like harmonizing with it. No, I was like, oh man, that's like the way you describe it is so beautiful. And it was really dope. And then like, I still suck at surfing, and I would like to, really devote some time to it if I ever live near a beach very soon. But like, yeah,
it's majestic.
100%.
So majestic, and it's so powerful.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
Oh man, yeah. Waves are crazy. They're scary, also very beautiful. But yeah. Anyway, just saying, Dominic Purdue, thank you. That was very beautiful. But Dominic, there you go. All right, and so we're gonna also Takia Mitchell. She's one of our of Toki's Street, the founder of Toki's Street. We interviewed her as well. She is she does CBD edibles, and she's like has her own cooking show as well.
Nice.
Toki, are you in? Can you hear? Hello? Toki,
there
can you
she
hear us?
is. Hi.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Toki.
I'm sorry for the technical difficulties.
No, you straight. All right.
Oh, look at how beautiful her locks are.
Oh, well, thank you. Oh my goodness, I'm finally meeting you, Blossom. I'm so excited.
I love your locks, and you're so beautiful.
Oh
my
well,
gosh.
thank you. You are too. You are too, Queen. You are too. Oh, yes. I love this. This was such a great event. I was listening to the whole thing, listening to Gainey speak. I think he is such a dope man. I'm so excited for the city of Pittsburgh. I think that he is going to do amazing, amazing things, and I'm manifesting it. It's happening. Okay, we're just going to put it out there because we need someone like him for our city. And I was the person who asked the question about the Black women, being what he was going to do, and I love this answer. That was amazing.
Very nice.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, he opened my eyes to a lot.
Yeah, very. Oh, Toki, what did you think about the poem so far?
Oh my goodness gracious! All I gotta say. Okay, so let me just say something right now. There are styles of poetry that get me. I used to host poetry jams, and I was really into poetry, big time. But I've actually stopped writing, and I know Miss Carol will be on me right now. But I have stopped. I haven't written in a very long time. Long time.
Do you mind me asking?
I think that when you write, you have to be honest with yourself, because the only person that you're truly writing for is yourself. And a pen to the paper, there's just something so deep about that and so spiritual about that, that there are pieces of me that I'm not ready to get yet. And I'm not strong enough to get, if you understand what I mean, like I'm not ready to get, and I know that's the only thing that I can actually write right now. Because if I try to write anything else other than
it won't be real.
It won't be real. So I'm at a point where it's there, but I just can't do it just yet. So I have stopped, and I actually have so many poems and so many writings that I've done that I have in notebooks that I haven't even looked at or touched in forever. But yeah.
Wow.
Very nice.
Wow.
Very nice.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
you
so I
want?
love
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very dope. Very dope. Yeah. Toki herself is very talented artist, and a big thing she does with her artistry is through food and implementing, in particular, baked goods. And yeah, Toki, you have the floor. Give it your spiel about your adult line,
Okay,
everything, all your
so,
plans, everything you're doing.
my spill. Okay, so my name is Toki. I'm the owner of a small bakery called Toki's Treats. It's a CBD edibles company. It's the first official CBD edibles company in the state of Pennsylvania. My biggest thing is, of course, my edibles. I love, having people enjoy my edibles, but more than anything, what's really important to me is education. I think educating the community about the benefits of marijuana, the medicinal benefits, the economic benefits, just everything is so important. I think in low income communities, there's not enough education about the laws and the policies that are happening. And I just wanted to run with that. So I actually was in the military for 8 years. And when I got out the military, I was diagnosed with PTSD. And they put me on a bunch of medications. And I didn't want to take any of those medications. I wanted to actually do something more holistic. And once I found out all the side effects of the medications I was taking, I dropped all of them. And a friend of mine introduced me to CBD, and I took it for 30 days, and I haven't looked back since. I also added, of course, marijuana to that, and I started learning everything I possibly could about cannabis and the science behind cannabis. And then I started teaching classes in Pittsburgh at the education center in downtown. And that continued. I started working at dispensaries, and I just really wanted to educate and provide
But what
free
would
education.
what would you say to someone who is who's interested in, going the holistic route and possibly trying cannabis, but they feel as though they would be looked at differently? What's something that you would educate them on, first and foremost?
I think that the first thing I would let them know is I actually just started using marijuana about 5 years ago, right? So I'm very new to the game of using marijuana, and I understand that hesitation of not wanting to use it and, thinking everyone's going to think of what they want. But what got me out of that mindset, and I think would help a lot of people, is the education piece, understanding that it's a medication. And what I try to do when I meet people that are like, oh, no, I don't want any of that. Oh, I can't, I'm in a lot of pain, but I don't want that. What I do is I try to give them little bits of information that they can walk away and think about. So if I see someone that's like, oh, I would never do that, that's that marijuana, I'll say, well, CBD is legal, right? I'm just letting you know it's actually legal.
And some of the drugs that are out there they're bad.
Yeah, and I said, that I just ask questions. I just start asking questions because people start fumbling when they're not, just ask questions. So, if they're able to answer the questions, that means they've done the research and they have made a decision not to do that. And I respect that. If you understand, if you have educated yourself about cannabis, then go right ahead and don't use if that's not your thing. But for someone who's not educated to come and say that they're not going to use it, to me, I think that is just,
it's not good.
No, we have to educate ourselves so we know what we're putting in our bodies and what helps and what works. And just something as simple as, definitely talk about cannabis, but what about holistic things like when you're sick, taking echinacea, you know what I mean? Instead of some of these other medications that are on the table, and using teas as ways to help with our immune system and our body. Like, these are things that we need to be educating the community about, and not just, the recreational side of marijuana or these other drugs that are out there,
On a daily basis, would you say that you've had the opportunity to trailblaze in that respect? Have you developed people that come to you and ask you questions, or I don't want to say entourage, because then that doesn't make you sound so humble, but do you have a support system or people that, you know?
I do. I have a lot. I have customers. I have to bring a shout out to my original customers. And I have to do this because when I first started out, my cookies and my treats were disgusting. I'll be honest. They were so nasty. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't really know how to bake. I just knew that I wanted to teach people about the product. And they bought all of my product. And those,
that's amazing.
They have,
oh my gosh, that's amazing.
They helped me and they molded me into the person that I am right now. So I have to say thank you to those individuals who helped me through that. In addition to that, like, I think that it's just my growth in my business has been very interesting. Just all, I tell you from the beginning, I know I'm going a little off topic, but I really enjoyed this journey because this journey of me having my business, honestly, was a journey of my own self-love journey. If you look at the beginning of my business up until now, it's just, that is what this was for me. At the beginning, I was just starting out. I was unsure of myself. My self-esteem was low. I really didn't know how to bake. And over this time, the people I have met, the conversations that I've had, I've met some people that were really sick that looked at me and were like, wow, this has helped me. And I thank you so much for your education. I have conversations with people all the time on Facebook and Instagram that just ask me questions. And I tell people all the time, if I'm looking at my phone and you have a question, I'm answering that before a regular text message comes in, because I understand the urgency of needing this medication and understanding this. So I always try to take on questions. And if I don't know, because I never say that I know everything about cannabis, then I'm going to find somebody who does, or I'm going to research myself to find out the answer. And I think that's so important. So
you know what? I commend you though, because you did not give up.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of people that give up, and like in the education system, in the educational system, a lot of teachers that have started as kindergarten teachers, you know what they did? Because it was so hard, they gave up. But then the ones that kept going, they ended up realizing that that's exactly where they needed to be. But there were some that just could not take it because it was difficult, because it was hard, and they just couldn't stomach failure. Sometimes failure is what we need. It's like the kick in the butt that we need in order to advance. So I commend you for continually, knocking it out.
I respect you, Blossom, because you were saying earlier about you being a TA in the schools and how, about the education system and you watching, the students and how there's not many Black teachers or Black people inside of the school system. I also come from that background. So I was a one-to-one and a TA specifically for behavior students. So
that's tough.
I loved it every second of it. I've been punched and kicked, and I'm just like, it was just a regular day of work. Like it was something that we did because I loved every single one of my students from the bottom of my soul, and I still say that to this day. But there were some tough days, but that's what we need. That's what we need in order for us to, to have that. But there was a lot of young men in those classrooms, just to wrap this up. There was a lot of young men in those classrooms that would smoke and that would, use marijuana things. And I wanted to communicate with them and tell them like, hey, there's a legal way to do this. There's a safer way to do this. So
but you couldn't talk to them about it.
But I couldn't talk to them about something that was relevant to them and meeting them where they are, not where we want them to be. That was so important to me. And I think that definitely hit on that of you saying that, talking about being a TA. That's where that's the biggest part of my motivation is the kids.
Absolutely. Yeah, those were some good times. Very good times. I developed really strong relationships, not with just students, but with the kids too. But one of the things that I remember is the psychologist asking me about Black men in the home because they noticed a difference in how Black men disciplined versus how white fathers disciplined.
You know something, Fatima, I can talk to you all day about this stuff. We can go on
but
forever.
you know
we
what?
Need to have
you know
more
what?
Of these conversations.
I used it as a platform. Because sometimes, you know, some people only think negative if they don't have any insight into that situation. So I became the educator.
Yep.
So we're gonna. So yeah. So
yeah.
No. This is good because
Sorry,
okay,
Steve.
You're just straight because just so y'all know, we're about to have like a women's roundtable with all our partners. Like
we need
Blossom,
to do that.
Toki, and then you know, talk about like all these stuff. So lots to look forward to. Like Toki says, she could talk for hours on end on this stuff, and they have a lot of really interesting insight. So I'll note about both their entrepreneurial journeys. The big thing they talk about, like a lot of people don't have the grit to wear out, like to go withstand failure, even though failure is one of the best teachers, right? But that's like the power of conviction from passion, right? Because you truly believe in what you do and you love what you do. And then like that, the passion and conviction, once you like start building your confidence along your path, it becomes a self-reinforcing mechanism that keeps you going. And then like, because entrepreneurship is hard. It's much harder than the safe route. So it's very difficult.
You tell it. I know this.
But it's just so y'all are awesome for being on here. So
thank you,
Steve. I'm just saying to be inspirations as motivation as well as proof of concepts that is possible to all the other aspiring young entrepreneurs out there. Absolutely. Right. So yeah, Toki, you have one of the fun parts of Toki's facets of her business is that she has this adult line about what's CBD, and you want to briefly talk about that, and then we'll close.
I do. I can talk. I can say it in about 30 seconds, 15 seconds. So I have an adult sex line. So just like I said, my business kind of is my growth. So I started off very kind of shy and I think I still am, but now I have developed into really wanting to explore my sexuality and finding sexual freedom after my traumas. And I created a sex line to be gentle to women and really to have women explore their sexuality. I have a Patreon and a live stream that I do once a week. And we have very adult conversations, but in a safe space.
Wow.
To talk about cannabis and
so it's a line. So it's a conversational line.
No, it's a live, but I also have chocolate body butter that I have and lube that I make as well. So it's really, it started off as conversation, again, with the education piece. And it started off with having conversation with women about their sexual desires thing, but in a safe space and us being able to have conversations while smoking or, while discussing marijuana as well. And it just has grown. I've been doing it for about a year now.
Wow. Yeah. And so the butter, tell me about the butter.
Oh, the body butter is amazing. It's a
what is it? Like, how do you use it?
Well,
I'm not interested. I'm just asking.
I can tell you. It's edible, so you can rub it on. I really love it, honestly. Just for myself, I love it on my lips. If you're not, it feels really tingly on my lips. It's really soft. It tastes really good, but it's not overpowering. I've known people to put it on, on people's necks and kiss on your neck, on the nipples, on things like that. And it tastes really good and it's really good. I'm not much of a strawberry flavor and things like that, but
I'm just joking. Sounds yummy. But
did you?
No. So it's actually
Steve is such an angel. He shouldn't be involved in that conversation.
No. Toki and I had a really enlightening conversation about this in our interview, which I'll post the link in the super chat as well. But
So how do I find you?
You could just go to Toki's Treats, www.tokistreats.com, and all of my social media is linked there. All of my, products and things like that are linked there as well. So yeah.
Yeah, and she also those who are in the super chat, click her name first that she commented, so you can go through our channels that way.
Yeah.
So, and so we're about to wrap up this event. I hope y'all enjoyed it as much as we did. Just so that y'all, it's been very fun. Just so y'all know, here's some flyers that I'm gonna upcoming events that Blossom of Poetry and Me is hold on one second. I'm gonna share. And here's some of the flyers that we got going on for. So here's the 15th for the Poetry and Paint of
Poetry and Paint, yes.
And then we have
I'm not sure how many slots we have left. That's a free event. Okay. I'm not sure how many slots we have left for this one, but this one we definitely we're pushing because if you don't pay or purchase ahead of time, you can't get in because all of her supplies are limited. So definitely come out, support, have some fun, listen to some of the greatest poets in Pittsburgh. And we're going to have a good time.
Dope. And then the one on 3 days later, we have another one.
Yes. So this is a free event. I actually teamed up with my friend who is I want to call her a counselor. She's a counselor for business, or entrepreneurs, and she's also teamed up with so many different companies in the Pittsburgh area to provide resources for new businesses. So I can't wait to do this. It's going to be a chill vibe. It's free, like I said. We're providing light refreshments, and anybody can get up and perform, so it should be a good time as well.
Oh. Yeah. We got one at Apex. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So yeah. So this is the one on the 29th. Oh, that's when you're. Are you performing?
Yeah.
Then?
So I'll actually be performing for this one.
Oh snap! Dope.
I'm so nervous.
No, that's cool. Yeah, we're going to see.
I love it. I'm going to be there. I love that.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Level is bro, and it's for their fundraiser for their new spot. So. They're doing, it should be exciting.
Yes, I'm excited about that.
And then we got on the 18th.
So this one I'll be modeling for my dear friend Jessie Marie.
Oh yeah, she's dope. She was at the poet at the last.
Yep, she is a poet. She is a business owner. She's amazing with her painting. Like this girl is she's quick. She's amazing. So. We are doing a relaunch for her business, and we teamed up. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have an after party. She's going to have some singers there. We're going to have poets, and I'll be modeling her art that night. So I'm extremely excited about this one as well.
And then on the 19th is another one. We have Invisible Ink as well as he.
So he'll be featured. There's another poet that's featured. Now this is the group that I have coming from Florida. They're actually well known in Florida. Their manager, I know her from a producer, and we decided that we should have her artists come out to Pittsburgh. And I heard some of their music, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear them. They're phenomenal.
Dope.
Now, this brother, Smooth the Poet, I actually heard some of his poetry today, and I was just like, whoa, where have you been? So he's going to be performing that night. He actually does music and poetry. So I can't wait to see him in action there too. And then we have other performances that we'll have for that night. And it's going to be amazing because we'll have the $5 frozen drinks. We'll have the $5 sangrias. There's going to be food available. We're going to have vendors. This show should be pretty dope because we're bringing poetry and, hip hop. We're just like, combining it. So it's going to be it's going to be a good time.
All right. And Togi, you got anything coming up?
Only thing I am doing the Apex event. I'm just waiting to graduate. That is like my biggest thing.
Ooh, congrats.
I only have about 3 more weeks left, and then I am done with school.
We're clapping
so
ahead of time. And yeah, so y'all can stay on the stream, on the Zoom chat, and we get. But for the audience tuning in, we're gonna close out with Kino's
Sabali.
Yeah, Sabali. Oh,
Sabali,
where's
his
the link?
music.
Oh my gosh.
This song is called Motivate.
All right. All right, so we shall
rock, work, motivate, work, motivate, work, motivate, work, motivate, work, motivate,
thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Motivate, work. Say motivate, work.
Sabali Dolly, Sabali Day.
I'm up early in the morning, round the crack of dawn, nigga, I ain't yawning, got money on my mind, health and wealth, I'm finna spawn in, starting with this meditation, gratitude, this higher thinking, abs test, arms in them squats, 3 sets, just a start, blood pump, lump sums, body goes, work of art, blood, sweat and tears, me and all my peers putting in, haters stare with that glare, cause they ain't clocking in, no pity, be the home team, gang here, OT, arc life, walk fly, speak life, count checks, clean rides, king shit, best in here we season, my super set the meanest, my now you know we eatin', can't stop till them winners ain't cold, family house is paid for, and we riding down the road in the Rolls, Lord he broke the mold when he made me, just results, no excuses.
He's part of my group, Poets of Skill.
Very nice.
Motivate, work, motivate, work, motivate, work, motivate, work,
That's hard. That's hard.
That's hard, right?
Motivate, work.
Shout out Tony.
Motivate. Gorilla fit, I'm like a saying. Daily how we trainin', frequent how they gotta pay me. I'm Paragon in any tournament. Puckle torn to shreds, or shining like a Christmas ornament. Told the Elohim for the gifts he poured within. True to my regime, pray they never go to war with him. Boy ain't been the same since that morphosis when most I took control of him. Sinner foes wanna pose with him, and foes and sin have been opposing them. How that mean them stacks ain't thin? Working like my ancestors to get back to where it all began. Can't stop till I'm known in every part of Africa. Chance a Bali boomer, yeah. That's a Bali kill 'em every time I'm rapping, cut. Abide by universal laws, I'm attracting gods. Like Tony Tiger working hard.
And I'm attracting
gods. Marked man entering, yeah, I'm a walking star. NASA clocking on my moves because I'm taking off. I say Ashe every time they say I'm going far. Got these eyes on my chest as I channel raw.
Oh,
and he has a tattoo. He has a tattoo on his chest.
Sabali Day, everyone.
Yay.
All right.
I
Hold
love
on one
it.
second. Hold on one second. Yeah. And then anyway, so everyone, thank y'all
That
for
was
tuning in.
Yes, this was fabulous.
any last words from Kind Hearts and your partners, Poetry and Me and Toki Streets? And,
I love y'all.
The live stream.
I love y'all. That's all I
Much
got.
love. Shout out from
Yes,
the bird
yes.
and the A and all that.
Bye, you guys.
Yeah. Peace out, everyone. Yeah.
Bye.
I'm gonna look for you.
Pursue
I'ma
your
look for
passions.
you.
No. Stay on the. I'm gonna just end the live stream and then so.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. The live stream's over. All right. So, all right. What y'all think about the event so far? Yeah, the event. It was pretty dope. I mean, there's
yeah,
I
thought it was.
I liked it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I thought that was. I thought it was far better than what I thought, Steve.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
It was far better than what you thought. What the fuck?
Ed Gainey came on and he blew my mind.
Yeah, actually, I was really surprised about his part. So I'm gonna cut that part out, and then we could blast that across. And then we got a lot of sound bites too. So yeah, this should be good.
Yeah.
And this column is being recorded too. So.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he definitely. He hit some really good points. And what I like about him is the fact that he's relatable.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, well, that's what Carol was saying. She's like, he's really down to earth and stuff. So
yeah, he is so relatable.
Every interview I've seen of him, every single time he talks, he just seems so like somebody you could just sit down at a table and just have a conversation with. He's so dope.
And why would we want any other type of leader other than someone who
This
can
is
actually
true.
understand,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
yeah,
that
good
was
stuff. Oh,
awesome.
yeah, and then make sure y'all connect and
Yes, we will, because I
do
want
some co-hosting events and
Yeah, I
you know
want
what to
some.
do.
I want some butter.
Be at that. I think I'm
Yeah.
going to be at the George's event, the 14th, 15th, and 16th. That's when his signups were. I think
Okay.
I'm going to
Oh,
sign
yeah.
up.
Well, I'm dancing at one of those events, so yeah.
Oh, you are? What day?
Yeah.
What day? What day? Do you know?
The 4th or the 5th of June. Yeah. So, but
Okay.
anyway, just we'll talk about this. But anyway, y'all are good. Y'all be good. All right. So we're good.
Bye, you guys.
We're gonna have a lot.
I appreciate
we're only gonna get better at
y'all.
these events. So whatever.
We
So
will.
peace out, guys. Peace out.
Bye.
Y'all have a good night.